If any of you ever try and tell me again that I don't listen to the comments, I don't read the chat, I don't care what you lot think, it's going to be an immediate ban, an immediate lifetime ban. Because for those of you not aware, I did present you with a choice. I could manage Tottenham or Valencia for the final leg of my Pentagon challenge. Less than 5,000 of you bothered to vote, way less than the people who watched the last episode, and you were completely indecisive. But that's not the key thing here. The key thing is when we go through the comments, it becomes very clear that in reality, you don't really want me to manage Tottenham or Valencia, and there is quite a common recurring word down there. Wimbledon, Wimbledon, Wimbledon. Even though in the video, the Wimbledon job's not even available and the incumbent manager has been there for 20 years and they're just comfortably mid-table in the Premier League. And that's never likely to change, is it? But, I mean, it goes on. Seriously, this is what my phone has been doing all weekend. Just Wimbledon, Wimbledon. You lot are insane. Johnny Jackson took the Poland job, which means here I am as new manager of Wimbledon. Wimbledon have today confirmed the appointment of Kevin Chapman as the club's new manager. I don't know why eyebrows are being raised. I've got 4 Champions Leagues on 4 different continents. They should be absolutely gagging for a bit of Kev. I am 60 years old in game now. I've spent time away from club football because I had to decline Spurs and decline Valencia. You made that very clear. It's the next season now. Johnny Jackson left to go and manage Poland right like July, August time. We'll see the date in a second. The season starts in a matter of days and I've got to figure out what I'm going to do to turn this team into a Champions League winning team. So of course, this is a Pentagon challenge. That is the plan. This is the Wimbledon story though. The media think they're looking good for finishing 14th. I don't know why Fierce Rivals is listed as Sutton United. There's no mention of McDonald's on there anywhere, which seems like a little bit of an oversight because surely they're always going to be the #1 most fierce rivals of Wimbledon. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to manage Wimbledon, just to stick it to the dongs. But yeah, they've been back in the Premier League for a gazillion years at this point. It's absolute madness. We'll have a proper look at them in a second. Obviously, we're so far in the future that these are all new gens, so we don't know who any of them are. I'm having a quick look. I don't think any of them are my previous players from previous clubs. That might well change at some point. The club are looking to expand the stadium, which would be jolly nice. In my experience, an established Premier League Wimbledon team looking for a bigger stadium is not a recipe for disaster. So I'm sure that's going to be absolutely fine. They want me to be competitive in the FA Cup and the EFL Cup and finish mid-table in the Premier League. Obviously, we're here to win the Champions League and finish the Pentagon Challenge. I think we've got a little bit used in this series to these jobs taking 2 or 3 years. The Premier League is the hardest league to manage in the game because so much money, and in my experience from doing like Road to Glory saves, if you start down in like tier 7 or 8, it takes you the same amount of time to reach the Premier League as it takes to take a lower Premier League team to Champions League glory. So we could be 5 years plus managing Wimbledon to get to the point where they're the best team in the world. But goodness me, are we going to get there? We've got plenty of time before FM26. It's July. I had to look at the calendar. I should know that it's July. We've got time. We can spend some time here at Wimbledon and do some constant Football Manager promotion as part of it as well, just to keep the guys at Sports Interactive sweet. They must love me. I make so many lovely videos about them. But they want me to play attacking, direct, high tempo, pressing, entertaining football that makes the most of set pieces. I feel like I'm having my style of play somewhat dictated to me, but luckily, I mean, it literally meets everything that I like to do. If you had to describe the way I play Football Manager in 5 statements, I think it would be those 5. So I think we're probably going to be a lovely match. I don't want a press conference. Is once a month the longest? Yeah, we don't want to do them at all, really. But we will confirm that, and we'll have a little bit of a look around. As you can see, it's the 5th of August. So it's like a year since I left the colon. Let me look at myself first, just to see how long I have been out of work. So I left colon. Where's my job? How do I find this out? My manager timeline? 14th of December last year, I left colon, and now we have made it to Wimbledon on the 5th of August. So I've been out of work for 8 months. And this, of course, is my first job managing in England, where luckily, because I am English, I do have extensive knowledge. And I'm probably the highest reputation manager in world football at this point. This should be a lovely boost to Wimbledon, having me turn up. That being said, we are playing our first game in 4 days' time, and it's away against Liverpool. And then we've got to be away against Manchester United. So it's not going to be an easy start to life here at Wimbledon. If we have a look at what is expected of us, season preview has us in 15th. I think we finished 14th last year. Obviously, there is going to be a big job to do. The club are £10 million in the red. We've only got a £13 million transfer budget, and we're over our wage budget. So if we bring the wage budget down, we can't put any more transfer budget into wage budget. So realistically, we've got to sell before we can buy. If we have a look at who our better players are, I mean, we've got someone there who's on the transfer list and wanted. Why is he on the transfer list? Why do we not want this guy? He looks like everything I would want from a striker. Have we just got too many strikers? We've got a lot of strikers, a lot of good strikers. So I think we can sell a striker or two. But I mean, we're going to have to play 2 up top, aren't we? Like 4 of our top 9 players are centre forwards. We've got, I mean, I mean, he plays for England. Are we really coming here to Wimbledon and we're going to do a 4-4-2? I mean, I'm thinking we sell him. This is the kind of player that you add when you're already in the Champions League. This is an end game player. This isn't a getting us into Europe player. If we can get 100 million for him, we can use that for a full rebuild. Because obviously a full rebuild is what's needed here. This club has had a lovely history. Johnny Jackson was here for 20 years and 74 days and took the club from League Two all the way up through the leagues into the Premier League. And they've been back in the Premier League for, I mean, this is their 10th year back in the Premier League. So they are now an established Premier League team again. And I mean, it's just very clear that it's a team that's very much mid-table, just going to kind of bob around forever. In fact, if you look over the last 5 years, a 13th, a 9th, a 9th, a 7th, that 14th last year probably was a suggestion that maybe Johnny Jackson was running out of ideas. Maybe the squad that got him here is starting to age a little bit, and there are a few of the older players who maybe do need to move on. There's a lot of players on the transfer list. I'm inclined to just not argue and let anyone go who's already on the transfer list, because the previous guy probably knew. He knew what was what. It's a big bloated squad, and we need to get rid of some of it. We have just signed this player this summer, who, I mean, a 24-year-old German international midfielder. This is a good Wimbledon team. He was here on loan last year, now comes in permanently. He'd previously been at Bournemouth. We haven't really sold anybody significant. The year before we sold a few fringies. I mean, this is just an established Premier League team. I think we're going to have a lovely time here. I am going to have to work out what on earth I'm going to do tactically. What have they been playing? Can we go back and look at last year? It looks like they are very much 4-4-2 merchants. I don't know that I can bring myself to do a 4-4-2. I might bargain to a 4-2-4. Although we have just signed a central midfielder, so I wonder if we just sell off a bunch of the strikers and just do something in my own image. I can't do a 4-4-2. Can I do a 4? I can't do a 4-4-2. We've got to get rid of some strikers. He can be first out the door. Right, I need to get myself settled in, come up with a plan, and then we'll play Liverpool and see what's what. Well, I've immediately discovered this isn't going to be as straightforward as I maybe thought it was going to be, mainly because of the absurd contracts that are at this football club. If we sort players by ability and just look at the low ability players, the ones I'm trying to get rid of, the kind of offers we're getting in for these kind of players are for like League One, League Two clubs. Look at the salaries they're on. Nobody can bring them in permanently. They're under contract for at least another year, or they're all under contract for another year, so we can do a better job of this next summer. But for this season, the best we can hope for is to get them out with somebody paying a fraction of their salary. Like if we can get someone to cover 30% of this guy's salary, it's Carlisle and Peterborough who are in for him. if we can get them to give us 20 or 30 grand a week, it all helps here. We have taken in a clause which got us another £4 million of transfer budget. And we've been able to move the transfer budget into wage budget now. But doing that means we have zero transfer budget left. We've got 25% retained transfer revenue. We have accepted an offer for one of our strikers of £36.5 million from Fenerbahce, but he doesn't want to go there. He wants to go to Juventus. So I don't know if he'll even go, but if he does go, we're only getting 25% of that. So what's that, like 8 million? I don't know that we're going to be able to do a huge amount with £8 million. But we are trying to have a little bit of a clear out. I'm very aware we've only got 3 weeks left on this transfer window. So I think my job for this season is very much just not rock the boat too much, make sure we stay in the Premier League. And then we've got a lot of players out, like half the squad are out of contract next summer, at which point we can do a proper rebuild. That's the plan. In the meantime, this is the team, and we have got a 4-2-4 and a 4-2-3-1 that we're training as well. We are very much going to be figuring things out as we go. But let's meet the players. So Patrick Clements is in goal. He's 6'4". He's 33. He's a Northern Ireland international. He's one of many players who just emerged at Wimbledon when I turned the English leagues on, and you're going to see a lot of that. And it's just the nature of doing a save like this one. Carlos Medina is a 31-year-old Uruguayan international. He's 6'3". He wants to leave. Don't get too attached to him. We're probably going to sell him. George Owusu is a 31-year-old English right back, who's another one who's been here forever and probably will be. He'll probably retire here. Martin Mamani is a centre back. He's English. He's another one who just appeared out of nowhere. Owen, I think. Owen Hines is a 32-year-old Northern Irish international centre-back, who again just appeared here randomly and has got a little bit of interest in him. If somebody wants to give us big money for a 32-year-old, we'll probably let him go. And then it gets a bit weird because we don't have much of a midfield, but I really don't want to play a 4-4-2. So our defensive midfield at the moment, we're playing an English right winger. He's got 14 caps for England, 5 goals. He is an accomplished deep lying or roaming playmaker. So that's what we're going to do with him and see if it works. He did come through at Liverpool, who we're playing today. It could be a disaster, but let's face it, he's not exactly been pulling up trees as a winger in recent years, has he? So he can play there and like it, or I don't know that there's room for him in the squad. We've then got Yuta Kawasaki, who is one of our many strikers, but as a deep lying forward, he's not a striker I'm going to use, at least as a striker, but he's also natural in midfield, so we're going to play him a little bit deeper, hopefully have him bursting out of midfield as a goal threat. If it doesn't work, he's 29 and worth 50 million. Yes, we'll happily sell him. We do have a link earlier on in his career, though. He was at Cerezo Osaka 2 years before I was, on loan from the Kashima Antlers, and has been at Wimbledon for the last 4 years. Then we've got the new boy, Johann Basinger, a 24-year-old German international who I don't really want. I'm training him to play as a defensive midfielder. I don't really long-term see myself playing central midfielders. I don't know that he's the attacking midfielder that I want. If he can learn to play as a defensive midfielder, he could be great. If he can't, I mean, he got 10 assists last year, which indicates he probably takes a decent corner. He does not. Where's he getting the assists from then? And then in the attack, we've got our captain, Sylvanus Jimo, who's a 26-year-old Nigerian international left winger. Another one who just appeared here. I mean, we need more goals than these players are scoring at the moment. That's true throughout the squad. We've got another one of our strikers on the right wing, Angel Caicedo, a 30-year-old Ecuadorian international. He is a striker. We are going to be playing him out wide. He has been our top scorer in recent years, so he might be moving back up front before too long. When you look at his goal record, he is where the goals come from. But I'm hoping with a striker here and a striker here, we can get them up supporting this guy who is a 25-year-old England international. If we're playing one striker, I feel like it has to be him. He is quick, but not very big or strong. So, I think he probably will score goals. I think he'd actually really benefit from a strike partner. I think playing Kasongo alongside Caicedo or alongside Kawasaki would be the ideal. So we do have a 4-2-4 that we're training as well. But at the moment, while Basinger can't play as a deep lying or as a defensive midfielder, switching to 4-2-4 basically takes him out of the team as our big, expensive summer signing. So I kind of want to keep him in for now, unless this really doesn't work, in which case we either play him there and he likes it, or we sacrifice him to get more out of our attacking players. The fourth big expensive striker is the one that we are trying to sell. We don't need all of these strikers. It's bonkers. But let's get the team submitted. We are away against a Liverpool team still managed by Arne Slot. So I guess they've been relatively successful over the years for him to still be there. I don't have any staff. So we don't have an assistant manager. We don't have any coaches. We don't have any scouts. So I don't know how quick transfers are going to be when we have no scouts and nobody scouted. Go and play with freedom today, because I've been here 4 days and I've got no staff with me yet. I have put adverts out for the staff positions. We're working on it. It's going to be a slow rebuild, I think, here at Wimbledon, because we're not a team where we can just throw loads of money around immediately. We are going to have to basically disassemble everything that Johnny Jackson has spent 20 years putting together, completely disassemble it, break it down to nothing, and then put it back together in my image and settle in for this being the final club of the save. This is my retirement club. We're here to win a Premier League. We're here to win a Champions League. We're here to win the Club World Cup, because why not? I'd love to win the Club World Cup. I hear it's the biggest competition in world football. That's what Chelsea fans keep telling me. So I assume that's something that's worth winning. But yeah, Liverpool are just knocking it around us for fun here, aren't they? Which doesn't necessarily bode well. Oh dear. Okay. This could be challenging. Yeah, I mean, it was a very good goal. I don't know how good Liverpool are. I assume the fact that they've not changed their manager while I've been dancing around the world, that probably indicates they are very good. Should we see where they finished last year and try and get a little bit of a clue? So they're second favourites for the league, and it's them and Newcastle are the two big teams here. So we are supposed to lose today. If we're even remotely competitive, that's good. But we're playing a new system. Several players playing in positions they're not used to playing. Even Hines at centre-back wants to be a libero. He wants to play in a 3. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of nonsense. Too much nonsense at this football club. I mean, how has that happened? That's terrible defending. I think that's Mamani. Absolutely shocking defending. It's basically gone through him. Just get rid of everyone and let me start again with a blank slate. I'll keep a couple of the strikers because I do quite like the look of them. But we don't need any of the rest of this nonsense. I can just imagine Wimbledon fans who've had this 20-year period of incredible progress. They've got their hero in Caicedo, their top-scoring hero, one of the Premier League's top scorers in the last 3 years. New guy comes in, never managed in England before, 60 years old. Basically, Ange Postecoglou. I've won stuff everywhere else. Yeah, but you've never managed here and you don't know what you're doing. And I've come in and taken their star and stuck him on the right wing away against the best team in the country. I should be getting sacked by the end of today. I'm not going to be. I'm going to win the Champions League. I don't think there's any doubt of that. But will it be with Wimbledon? Will I be able to rebuild them quickly enough to avoid getting the heave-ho? Because they're I've got to keep emphasising they're an established Premier League team. They do not expect a battering, even though they probably should expect a battering away against Liverpool. In the situation that we're in, with no staff, with a manager who doesn't know any of the players, doesn't know how he's going to play, does seem to be getting indications that this system is not working. Oh, okay. I mean, we're going to pull out the 4-2-4 for the second half and see how that looks. Because I think the personnel we've got on the pitch can just change shape into a 4-2-4 relatively easily. Whether it'll be any more... Yeah, I want a much better display in the second half. Get me the 4-2-4 out. Right. Yeah, I think if we put Kawasaki up front with Kasongo, we're still leaving Caicedo out wide, but we can just drop him back there to play alongside him. If we had any more midfielders, which we don't, if we had another midfielder, I mean, we could maybe play him. He needs to train to play defensive midfielder as well. It doesn't seem like it's a role this club have used before, so they don't have anyone who can play there. But we could put him out on the wing and get Caicedo up front. That's probably the sensible thing to do, isn't it? I mean, maybe even Kawasaki. Could he play even deeper? Yeah, let's do that. What's the harm? Get him learning to play even deeper. So actually, we want him up there like that and swap those two over and do that. I mean, really, I guess we need to play these two in their actual positions, which means you do this. But our defence is then very, very unprotected and our right back needs to come off. So we're bringing a left back on to replace him. It's going to be fine. There you go. Second half, boys and girls. Let's see what we can come up with. Demand more. Do something. This is Caicedo's opportunity to show me that he's actually any good. And to be fair, Basinger as well needs to show me that he's worth the 20 million. I didn't spend it. I don't care if I don't use him. I mean, it might upset the club a little bit, but ultimately, last season was their worst season in like 5 years, and he was part of it. It was probably just a mandatory, had to buy him because he was here on loan with a mandatory future fee. It's not like they've gone out and signed a big, fancy, expensive player to try and change the team. He's been here a year. We shouldn't be treating him any differently to anybody else. Right, let's have a goal. There's Razali, who's now playing on the right wing. Cross comes in for Caicedo. We probably need to play that guy up front, don't we? But then I only want to play one striker, so I think if we're going to do that, we don't need Kasongo. We've got to sell at least 2 strikers, I think. Keep one good one decent rotation option who can play a little bit deeper or out wide, like Caicedo or Kawasaki, I guess, have got alternate positions, and then bring in a youngster for the third one and use the money, reinvest the money. I think that's got to be the way forward. Right, Jimmo is coming off, and we don't have anyone else who can play on the left wing, which is, I mean, Zach Jones, just Football Manager things. I'm a left midfielder. We'll play left wing then, but I'm a left midfielder. Play the left wing, you moron. It's the same position. Goodness me. Right, Kasongo's coming off. We'll give Amft, who we are trying to get to Fenerbahce, get him on. Have a look at him. We're going to go very attacking. And we're going to try and drag ourselves back into the game. Clement has just kind of flapped at that. He has sort of got himself back into position, but it wasn't outstanding goalkeeping, was it? Right, come on. More. Do something, you bunch of plums. This is your audition for being part of Wimbledon, the Wimbledon project for the next 5 seasons. If you don't want to be part of that, let me know now. There's still 3 weeks of the transfer window. I don't care if I'm selling 8 of you. It'll give me money to reinvest. Right, Caicedo drops out to the left-hand side. Jones. Oh, he's a bit far forward. I hope he doesn't get a nosebleed. And, yeah, they deal with it very easily. But Hines, proving that he is a libero after all, stepping out at the back 4 very comfortably. And now Razali back to Basinger. And now Amft is in, and that's why we want to send him to Turkey, because he's no use to me with that kind of finishing. Goodness me. We've certainly looked better in this second half, playing, I guess, a more familiar shape for this Wimbledon squad. But is that just because Liverpool have taken their foot off the pedal? They did the damage in the first half. They don't need to keep coming at us. They were 3-0 up at half-time. They just need to knock balls up. Whereas we're trying to make something happen. I mean, if we can grab another one here, it does make the last 10 minutes interesting. But I do feel like Liverpool could just switch up a gear again and grab another goal or 2 relatively easily. Yeah, there you go. And that's because we didn't have anybody protecting the back 4, which is the danger when you play a shape like the shape that we're playing. Right. He's coming off. He can come on. And then I guess we'll try this guy, who is yet another striker. That's 5 strikers. Why is there so many strikers here? My word, this is too many strikers, and that's me saying that. I love a striker, but you don't need 5 Premier League quality strikers and no midfielders at the club. It's such an unbalanced squad. I've got 3 weeks of transfer window to try and do something, because at the moment, that was rubbish. But you do have to remember who we were playing. But yeah, we have got work to do. There you go. We've got this guy out the door, 60% of his salary being paid. We're going to have to do a lot of that and just eat these terrible contracts for a year. But we are slowly getting to the point where we could maybe bring in a player, which would be nice if by the end of the window I could bring in some footballers. That would be handy. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to all of the wonderful Patreons down in that list. And thank you very much for watching.